Got a question? Ask Tom on HomeShow Radio.
This is HomeShow Radio live on Facebook and YouTube. Your questions, Tom's answers. Now here's Tom Tynan and Charlie Mosier.
There we go. It's kind of like an avatar. I'm sorry. I started early. I'm all done. I already said everything. All right.
You peaked too soon? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I peaked too soon. Oh, well, I'll see y'all later. Anyway, I'm Tom Tynan. I answer your home improvement questions every Saturday, every Sunday on Sports Radio 610, plus on Thursdays. We do this here on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. And, of course, Charlie is the facilitator. He's the one that coordinates everything.
Yeah, it's the high point of my week every week to hear what my new title is going to be. Every week
facilitator today.
This week I'm a facilitator. That's awesome. Okay.
Ooh, I'm going to get a whole list. I'll get a thesaurus. We'll
okay.
All kinds of stuff.
Tom Carroll, that might be mistaken for show prep.
No, do that.
Okay.
No.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what we are going to do. We're going to talk about plenum problems today. We're going to talk about hardy and washing it and chimneys and repairing rusty windows and doors and remodeling. And to do that, we're going to bring in one of our home show pros. You know him. You love him. You can't get enough of him. He's Jeff Robertson. He tilted his camera back up again. Hey, tilt your camera down there, Jeff.
I didn't touch my camera, Charlie.
I'm telling you, we didn't have all that stuff above. Oh, look at you. Oh, don't you look handsome now?
Maybe his chair hydraulics is going and he's slowly going down.
That's what it is. He's not even aware.
That's at the college I work at. All the chairs, by the end of the day, you're all the way down.
All right.
Could be that. You want me to move it right or left, Charlie?
I'll tell you, you just let your taste be your guide, Jeff, all right?
Yes.
And so what we are going to do today is we're going to talk about, answer all those questions, but this is a live show, so you're welcome to join us too by putting your comments down there in the comments section underneath, and you can be part of the program as well, and then Tom will answer them, and we'll allow us to demonstrate that right now with a question from the Home Show Radio Ask Tom section. How's that sound? You good?
I'm good with it. That's why I'm here.
Okay, here's the first one. Ron in Pecan Grove says, I just had my winter checkup and was told that I have some mold in my plenum. How do I open the plenum and to remove the mold? And I was told to use a solution of vinegar and water, but not bleach. What's your advice?
Well, bleach is pretty caustic. It'll tear up the metal. And in a plenum, you have insulation that's glued to the inside of the metalwork. The outside is metal, the inside has got this insulation so it doesn't sweat. When you have a plenum that's just really bad shape, you can't really clean them. The best thing is to just have a new plenum installed. It's not that big of a deal. It's a little bit of an expense, but you have to do it once in a while because if it's wet and mold is growing, it's really hard to try to save. You might find the insulation falling down. If you try to get it even more wet, you can probably hurt it even more so. If it's just a little bit, I don't understand what the big deal would be. But if you get in there and there's no access door or anything, you just got to take the whole thing apart, and you start by where the duct's attached to it. So I'm surprised that someone would do a check and then recommend that you go in and you clean your plenum, because it's not something a do-it-yourselfer would usually do, because usually if a plenum is in bad shape, it gets replaced. So I'm not sure why this is happening, except, and this is what I suspect, somebody is trying to upsell you a ultraviolet light for your plenum. And that's where I'm hearing a lot of this jibber jabber about, oh, you have mold in here. Well, yeah, you could clean it, but why don't you let us sell you this light? So I don't know if that's happened in this case, but I want everybody to be very careful. But I suspect that's what it is. Because a plenum, if it's real moldy and nasty, you just replace it. It's not a big deal.
It's the dreaded upsell.
Today you're seeing a lot of it, and I think we even might have some more questions down the road in other places. On the show lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about it, so that's kind of all overlapping with me. But yeah, it's people are taking advantage of a scary time and trying to sell something that they shouldn't be selling because of what's going on in other places in people's lives.
Not fair. Don't do it.
No. And everybody's talking about, the virus is going around. That's what everybody's getting. And it's not just lights. I'm sure it's happening with all kinds of stuff right now. So be careful.
That's why we have the Home Show Pros at HomeShowRadio.com. We've already done the legwork for you. You go there and you can find people you can trust to do stuff. So, all right.
Yeah.
Next question comes to us from Taylor in Damon, Texas. He wants to know, how do you wash a hardy plank chimney? He says, what chemicals would you use and how would you apply them? The chimney's 30 feet high, Tom.
Well, this goes right back to, I think, our video last week, Charlie, with Matt from Sunny Power Washing. This is truck-mounted equipment or heavy-duty pressure washers, but it's not necessarily a high pressure, but it has to reach 30 feet in the air, because getting people to stand on a ladder and trying to get up while the ladder's leaning against a chimney and going all the way up there, and you're going to end up falling. And I don't want anybody to do that, especially if you have a pressure washer in your hand. But the bottom line is this: in some cases, and I can say this right now, this week I had, in our case, our certified Home Show Pro Matt from Sunny Pressure Washing. In fact, he just finished today sealing my front sidewalk. They did all the pressure washing with their equipment, because I just don't own the equipment and I don't have the time right now to do it. But it's a light pressure wash, and there's a lot of different chemicals that are out there that you use first. So you end up spraying it lightly with the cleaner, and then as you see in the video, the cleaner will sit there and do its job, and then you just come back and rinse it all off. So it's not the pressure washer, but it's actually the cleaner in this case. And if I remember correct, Charlie, he was pressure washing 30 to 40 feet in the air, windows and siding and everything else. So
yeah,
that's what you're really looking at when you're going that high. I'm not going to tell anybody to get on a 16-foot ladder with a pressure washer in his hand and have that stuff coming down on your head, and you're trying to get up there and it's pushing you back. It's dangerous. You got to be prepared with the right equipment.
Well, he's over there today doing that at my house.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Well, he left my house first to go to your house.
Yeah, Sandy saw that video.
So did my Sandra.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yes.
And do you know he does?
Hey.
Just so you know, while we're on the subject of Matthew, I want to let you
It
know
was
this guy's-
reasonable. It was good.
Yeah, it was very reasonable. Frankly, I told him he should charge more, and he said, "Can I start with you?" I said, "No, next guy."
Yeah, good idea,
He
Charlie.
said, no, but just so you know, he's an industrious guy. Matthew's just a fine gentleman, and I don't know if you know this, but they do Christmas lighting as well.
Yeah,
And
he
so
asked. He
there's-
tried to sell me that. I said no.
No, yeah, selling Christmas lights to the Grinch. Are you kidding me? No,
That's right.
He's but he
want those
does
holes in
them.
my
He does
house.
all kinds. He does the roof line lighting. He does stake lights.
Yeah.
He does all kinds of stuff. So if you want to have it done,
Well, it goes back to
professionally-
him having the ladders and having all that stuff that people don't have in their garage. They got the little dinky ladder that we just change light bulbs with. This guy's got the right equipment to do those things. But
And he's
if
not-
you watch
and
the
he's-
video,
yeah.
huh?
No, go ahead.
No, I want to push this video because of the question about 30 feet in the air in a chimney. That video is still on his website, isn't it, Charlie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So what he'll do is you'll see how he sprays it down with the chemical. He talks about how it has to sit there. And then he talks about that it's not pressure washing, but it's a pressure washer they use, but it's light rinsing that takes care of it, and they let the soap and stuff do the work. Now, if you really wanted, I'm going to do this because I know Matt would be he would be up to this. If you want to find out what chemical he used, you can call him and say, hey, I saw your video. I'm going to try it myself. He'll leave you his phone number just in case you want to call him after you try. Because if you don't have the stuff, maybe you do.
And he won't charge that much for fixing what you screwed up.
But, yeah. And he doesn't do medical bills. But the fact of the matter is, he would probably be more than happy to say, hey, go down to this store and buy this and see if it helps you. If you can go 30 feet in the air with your equipment. He's a nice young man.
Yeah. Well, and just, those Christmas lights that he's doing are not your Walmart or Target lights. These are professional lights, and they look really, he's shown me some of the stuff, and it's just stunning. So anyway, how about another question? By the way, if you'd like to send your questions to us, we welcome you. We're going to be joined by Jeff Roberts here in a minute. We're going to talk some remodeling questions and maybe some tangentially related remodeling questions I came to find out right before the show. But anyway, he'll be with us here in a minute.
Yes.
One more. Let's see. Here's one from Jim in Cyprus. He says, I primed and painted a metal front door about 2 years ago that had some rust in one spot. And the rust is starting to come through, Tom. He says, do I need to sand it down to the bare metal? Or can I just light sand and use some like Rust-Oleum over the top of it?
Okay, this is what I would do, and unless there's a moisture problem that's inside that door always wanting to get out because it'll keep coming back, what you do is you wash it down real well. You can take a little wire brush to it. Don't go down all the way to the metal. If you do, it's not a big deal. But wire brush it and then wipe it with a white vinegar, just a straight white vinegar, and let it dry. Then you get a little can. You don't need to buy a gallon of it. Rusty metal primer, and Rust-Oleum makes it, and there's other companies that make it too, but you can get it at the box stores, and go ahead and spot prime the door and any rusty spots that you do this to. Then go back and paint it with the regular paint. If you don't use the rusty metal primer, it'll keep it from coming back for a while. But I will tell you this, if you're living by the ocean or something, you're always going to lose that battle. It'll prolong it. It won't eliminate it for sure. It depends where you are. But if there's no more moisture issues or anything, it should last quite a while.
Fair enough. Hey, you know how you like to run your earbud up over your ear?
Yes.
Well, now it's hanging out, just so you know.
I know, because did you notice it came out a minute ago?
It's your other ear. The other one, there you go.
They're both ears.
I want you to be the fashion plate you need
They're
to be.
both ears.
I see. I only use one. So, anyway, because
yeah, but you look like you have a walrus tooth sticking out of your ear.
I do. That's exactly what it is. My earbud's on this side. Anyway, so let's time to get our guest on here today. Our good friend Jeff Roberts was kind enough to make some time to join us again today here. Jeff Roberts is, of course, hang on a second. Let me do your the thingy here. There we go.
Hi, Jeff.
There we go. Jeff
Hey,
Roberts, you
Tom.
find him. He's one of our home show pros. You'll find him over there at the website. We can hide them all there on the homepage. You scroll down, and there he is. You click on that, and it'll take you to his page. And if you want to see all the videos we've done for him over the years, they're there. If you want to learn more or connect up with him, that's where you do it. Or you can just say howdy to him right now. Howdy.
Howdy.
Nice. Okay. Hi.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Jeff, I flew up to Seattle yesterday for the day to do some client work. And I'm here to tell you, there's nobody up there who understands what howdy and gig'em means.
Why would they?
Good. Well, those people need to stay up there.
It's a sad point. Yeah. I was out on a job site with my client, and it's like, it's just this kind of constant drizzle. And I said, man, it's too bad I came on a rainy day. And he says, no, it's like this every day. He says, anyway.
It's true.
Jeff Roberts, of course, I'm sure you know, Jeff is the trifection, the frequent welcome guest, of course. And Jeff is also, they do kitchens and baths and whole home remodeling. And Tom talks all the time, Jeff, about your phone number and how it dates back to when you started. I guess you did. You started just doing kitchens, is that right? Or kitchen cabinets? How did that start?
Well, it started with refacing kitchens. Kitchen cabinets, bath cabinets, but not even building cabinets, doing refacing. And that eventually grew into building cabinets and ultimately into full-blown kitchen remodeling and then bath remodeling.
And so much more, as we will learn today. So we'll talk about, but he's also, I'd say I'm going to jump the gun on something here. He's also, you may not be aware of this, Jeff has many skills, but one of them is he is a remodeler to the stars.
Whether they have their own bathroom or not, when there's a shared bathroom, there always is a division of where his stuff is and her stuff is.
It didn't become Tom's room until we had our empty nest, when the kids grew up and moved away.
For 20 years, this was the boys' bathroom. I wanted to turn it into something more functional for myself.
We took out the bathtub and we turned it into a nice big shower. So he has more space. It's easier to get in and get out of than a bathtub is.
The bathroom isn't the only thing that's 20 years older than when we first moved in.
As we get older, we need a little more sturdying to keep us from falling down when we're walking on slick floors.
I wanted it done my way. Grab bars for safety and Kohler fixtures for style.
I know I did what he wanted. Tom wouldn't let me do it any other way.
It's his bathroom. He chose the coloring, he chose the design, all on his own, and so that's his space, and I'm glad he has it. because I'm waiting for mine.
Yes, Sandra's bathroom is next. Don't tell Tom.
Jeff's just kidding. Sandra's very happy with the master bathroom.
No, I'm not happy with it at all. And frankly, never been happy with it.
I designed the master bath myself, including the tub.
I don't even know what the material is, but I don't like it. I hate it. It's too dark. It's very masculine.
I'll admit, it does need a little attention.
It's not a place where you want to luxuriate and enjoy yourself and look forward to. It's a bathroom that's kind of utilitarian, and that's about it. And it's kind of dreary.
The important thing is that we now each have our own bathroom space.
I'm so glad that Tom got what he wanted, and his bathroom looks great. But what he doesn't know is that I'm getting mine done next.
We'll see. To be continued on HomeShowRadio.com.
So
Yeah,
I love
and
that
I still got my bathroom. Ha!
Yeah, it was beautiful work. All right, so what do you say we
Oh, yeah,
answer some
no, it's
questions,
great.
Jeff? We got a bunch that came in here. We're going to run through some of these. These are from Ask Tom. Of course, if you'd like to ask Jeff a question, feel free to send it in to us by entering them in your comment section. All right, so let's get to this. First up, this is from Jasmine. She's in Ringgold, Georgia. She says, I'm remodeling my bathroom floor and wants to know, can I lay hardy board over plywood as a tile backer? And if so, any advice on the do's and don'ts for the process? And could you also give me some advice on avoiding tile cracks later on? You got some tips, Jeff?
So you definitely can lay hardy backer over plywood. Generally what we do is we float the hardy backer with thin set, just like we lay the tile. That kind of serves two purposes. It helps the hardy backer stay, it doesn't leave voids underneath it in case the subfloor is unlevel. And at the same time, it helps level the floor before you even lay the tile. As far as, and put lots of screws, lots and lots of screws. That'll get rid of the squeaks for the most part. The thin set underneath the hardy backer helps that as well. And it'll also help with having cracked tiles. There's different types of thin set. There's thin sets that have additives in them that are flexible, that if you've got a lot of movement in your house will give you more security that you won't get cracks. But to answer the question, yes, hardy on plywood. There's other methods as well, but that's very common. It works well.
Yeah, one of the steps people skip, Jeff, is that thin set underneath the hardy. I got a call on my show last weekend where they did everything just right, but the subfloor was bowing just a little bit, and so the tiles started to crack because the two layers didn't have that layer of thin set to hold them tight. And so I just want to remind everybody, don't skip that step, and lots of screws, like you said, is important.
Well, okay. I guess we'll go on to the next question for you, Jeff.
Did we lose Charlie?
No, I was here.
Yeah,
I
we're
just thought
just-
maybe there might be something like, where one person talks, the other time we have like a conversation thing. But okay.
No,
We won't do
because
that.
we know
No,
everything.
Tom and I
There's no
covered it just well.
conversations.
Well, we're going to share it with the great unwashed out there, you guys. Come on. All right, here's one from Michael in Houston. He says, I'm considering resurfacing my 28-year-old laminate kitchen counter versus replacing them because they're in relatively good shape. And even though I know it's less expensive, is it wise to do that kind of thing, Jeff?
So I guess if they're in relatively good shape, I don't know why you would want to resurface them to begin with. But I have seen resurfaced countertops. Usually it's like in apartments or someone trying to sell the house and get rid of it. The resurfacing products are not, they're very, very temporary. They're just made to make it look good for now and do something different. I don't recommend resurfacing laminate countertops. Laminate countertops are not that expensive anyway, so I would recommend if you're on a tight budget, just replace the countertops, and then you don't have to worry about this resurfacing material scratching and coming off. It's basically a paint is what they're putting on it, and everybody knows that paint doesn't last. Paint has maintenance, and I would recommend replacing the countertops.
When I started first doing the show, and I don't get this question at hardly at all. This is an unusual one. People would have everybody had laminate countertops in their kitchen, and they would have a spot here or there that just wore through, and they say, Tom, the countertop looks pretty good, but I have this one spot. Is there any way to kind of just get rid of the stain and bring it back? And the answer is no, because it's a high pressure laminate, which means there's a plastic coating on top, and then the color comes from layers of paper that are pressed down in there. And once you wear down that coating on top of laminate, it's right to the paper, and the paper will not hold up. It just loses its color. It looks like it's dirty. It looks really dull in spots. Jeff, I'm sure you've seen a ton of these things when you tear them out. And to paint them is fine, but if you're going to have a painted surface, as far as I'm concerned, don't use it. It'll look good. The minute you start dropping plates and sliding pans and doing that kind of thing,
or cleaning it.
Just good. Or cleaning it. Yeah, don't clean it. If you paint your countertop, don't do anything. Go to Pizza Hut.
So is this being marketed primarily to single men? Don't clean it?
Hey, it might work.
That might be the market for it.
Just don't go in there. Like my grandfather said, the toilet doesn't work in that bathroom. Don't go in there. I don't want to call a plumber. Really? Let's call a plumber. I need the toilets.
You'd be surprised the things you find when you go into some professionals' houses. Like, aren't you in this business? Couldn't you, fix this?
Like the channel locks on the cold water supply in my video? Yeah, that...
Interesting you should
It
mention
worked.
Hey,
by the way, I got those channel locks back, too. They were going to take them. I got it back.
I'm sure you kept them.
She doesn't need them anymore?
No, she doesn't need them anymore. They're mine.
That brings us to the to be continued part of that video.
I don't like anybody in the bathroom when I'm there, and she doesn't like anybody in there when she's there. There's none of this sharing. So we would race who could get in there first, lock the door, and then when we came out, the other person would get in.
My husband Tom knows a lot about remodeling.
We've been talking about remodeling these bathrooms for a long time, but what it really came down to, the kids had finally left.
So we had that bathroom made into one just for him.
Tom wanted to get rid of the bathtub, and he did, and he turned his bathtub into a nice big walk-in shower.
Functional and modern. Unlike the master bathroom.
Sandra wanted to blow her entire bathroom up. She hated it.
I never actually said I hated it. I don't like it. I hate it. It's too dark. It's very masculine. Okay, I hated it. But who wouldn't hate this?
The master bathroom was not designed right. And so we started saying, we need to remodel this. And when we decided to remodel one, I started thinking, we might as well do them all.
Seeing what went into remodeling Tom's bathroom helped me when it came time to making remodeling choices for my bathroom.
It has new custom cabinets built in our Trifection cabinet shop. It has frameless glass shower, all new tile, new lighting package, updated Kohler plumbing fixtures. It's the whole package.
We used to fight over the bathroom, but when it came time to remodel, Tom and I were on the same team.
I gave her my expertise, but it was always her decision. There was no conflict at all.
With Jeff's help, we now each have our own perfect bathroom space.
I'd like to think I saved their marriage.
All in a day's work. I'm Sandra Ginn for HomeShowRadio.com.
So I'm almost afraid to ask, Tom. Did Jeff
What?
save your marriage?
No, we got divorced 2 years ago.
Nah.
It's very sad.
But you're still living
She took all my
together?
money, and I'm living with an old bathroom again down in Brownsville all by myself. No, our marriage is fine, and I talked to her right before I came on today, and she was heading towards the bathroom, so we couldn't talk.
See, she knew. She's probably at home watching.
She knew, yes.
I want to make sure
Yes.
that thing looks good if it's going to be on the show today. So it was nice of her to wash it before we did
I
it.
tell you what, people make fun of us because we have separate bathrooms, and we're both really neat, really clean. It's just, there's a place for togetherness, and there's a place for not togetherness. Okay, that's just the bottom line.
Well, Jeff, how common is that when you're doing bathroom projects like that, you'll wind up going in to do one, and that leads to the next one?
It's very common. I mean, that's what happens. We'll go through and do all the bathrooms in a house. We don't do them all at one time, or they won't have a bathroom, but But typically they'll start in a kid's bathroom because it's kind of like practice in case they mess up. They don't really trust what they're doing and how they're picking things, and eventually work up to the big bathroom, the primary bathroom.
Well, Jeff, I can also say you did our guest bathroom just for our guests, and it looked good too. So we did 3 out of 4. Thank you.
You are welcome, Tom.
So you started in kitchens, right? And then you started doing bathrooms too. And then you started, I mean, was it the cabinetry that came next or the whole home remodeling that came next, Jeff?
Well, cabinetry came along in the whole process of doing kitchens and bathrooms, and that eventually led into entertainment centers and furniture and other things that are woodworking and cabinetry. From the kitchens and baths, we started expanding into whole home remodeling, floors throughout homes, paint throughout homes, anything that is remodeling. As we grew our team, I met Tom in '98, and we had a really small team back then. We were very good, but very small team and focused on kitchens and baths. But in the last 10, 12 years, we've grown into a company, partly thanks to Tom, that has expanded out of just remodeling kitchens and baths and interior remodeling. Tom tried to talk me into for years to focus and get into room additions and real construction, which I'm kind of slow to push along because I don't just run into anything. I'm kind of picky and specific, and when I do something, I really want to know what I'm doing and make sure I do it right. I think I got that from my papa. But so Tom, you know this, I think, but we've been doing quite a few large projects, room additions, and things that you convinced me that we could do, and it's kind of gotten to the point. It's kind of gotten to the point now where there's not any part of a home except for a swimming pool that we haven't remodeled or built in pieces and parts. The only thing that we haven't done is build a home, full-blown custom home like you used to do from the ground up.
I was going to talk to you about that, Jeff. I think next step is custom homes like I used to do.
Funny you should say that, Tom.
Yes.
This is Jeff. I'm going to roll that foot. Jeff and I have cooked something up, and we're going to kind of spring it on you right here on the show.
Go right ahead.
So
I'm
show
ready
you
for anything.
Let's show you some. Jeff, you can kind of narrate these along. Some pictures, something Jeff's working on.
Shout out to Cherry, another HomeShow pro. Here we are doing the foundation on the house. This is in a 100-year floodplain, so it's a crawl space, pier and beam. And
Nice.
CMU wall to get it up where we need to get it for the flood management office. Oh, there goes some framing. It's starting to look kind of like a house. Guess here's some interior shots, walking around and seeing some of the walls built. This is only a few days ago. We're starting to do some of the cornice work. We're waiting on the windows. They're a little delayed because of COVID.
And that's so that's your very first one. I mean,
Very first one.
Bringing it up out of, you not only brought it up out of the ground, you put the first one in the ground.
Yep.
Well, you had to tear down the first one first. That's okay. You're going to find, Jeff, it's easier than remodeling. Because people aren't living there. You don't have to worry about messing up their house. You're just going to get in there and get it done. You're going to find it's the easiest construction you've ever done. It just takes longer and it's bigger.
Well, so far it's gone very well. The
look
homeowner, you said they don't live there, but she actually lives in the house behind her, right? Behind her.
I've had a few of those. I know that's sometimes. Let's just hope you don't get a lot of rain. Get that thing dried in, then you'll be okay.
Yeah. So we're trying right now.
No, it looks good.
We're almost-
I think it's
almost
great.
there.
It's a good idea. Good idea.
Well, so I thank you for kind of pushing me along through the years to step off into different things, and I'm glad we've done this now, and look forward to doing more.
Great.
That's a great
Well-
move for you, Jeff. Congratulations on getting into
Yeah.
that. So it's a whole thing. You mind?
Do you know what they used to say, Jeff, in Houston? If you build new homes and you run out of work because the economy goes sour or whatever, you go to the other side of town and you open up a remodeling business. So you're going to be doing both now. You'll never be out of work because no matter what the economy does, from improvements to remodeling to building new, you're going to have a niche to fill. And Houston is big enough to do that.
Well,
And I'm glad I got somebody like you that if I need help, I know I could call you and ask you, hey, what I do.
You have my cell number.
there you go.
Yes.
Well, Jeff,
I will,
thanks
I
a
will,
lot.
I will refer to you to HomeShowRadio.com and our certified Home Show pros.
There you go.
I did that for Charlie.
Thank you, Tom. And thank
Yes.
you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for being here today and sharing that. And congratulations on your big news. And I hope that's the first of many. I mean, we have your work. I mean, we live among your work here. I mean, we've mentioned it before, but in case somebody's new to the show and doesn't know, Jeff actually did the complete gut and remodel of the building that the company lives in here. And we always get compliments on how we did it. And we said, well, we pick up some guys at the depot that came and they did it.
Well, thank you. And I'll keep you up to date on how it's going.
No, it sounds great.
Please.
We'll check in with you again. Thanks a lot for being with us today, Jeff.
All right.
Thanks,
thank you.
Jeff. We'll
Okay.
talk to
See
you.
you later. Bye.
Oh, isn't that cool, huh? I mean, like all grown up.
It's
here.
only a natural progression. You know, he's still a young man. He can do it.
He's still young. Listen to us. We're a couple old guys sitting on the porch
Yeah,
saying, "Hey, get
uh-huh.
off my lawn." All right.
Hey, Charlie, I'm now the oldest man in the room when I'm going to most meetings. So, yeah, I understand. Leave it for the youngsters.
I was talking to one of my clients today, and he says, "Yeah, I forget things. I'm like 52 now." I'm going, "You punk."
Prevagen.
Yeah, that's it. No, just good sleep. You know what I mean? So anyway, and,
Yeah,
and
no
I,
kidding.
And I have not gotten a lot in the last couple of days, so I'm sorry for the mistakes and stuff today along the way on the switching. It's a little whooped hard, you know. A couple cross country
Don't worry
flights
about
in 24 hours will do that to you. All right. So anyway, no, I literally got back in time to do this. So that's why I went. I told them, no, we have to shoot on Wednesday because I got to be back on Thursday to do Tom. So, all right. So you want to talk about the weekend?
Weekend is, you told me today, it's going to be a normal schedule, 11 to noon for me on Saturday on Sports Radio 610. I will be talking to you about all kinds of home improvements, but it's what you want to talk about, so you make sure you call me. And on Sunday, 8 to 11, we can forget about all the time change jargon because now we're into a full weekend. We didn't have to change in the middle of the weekend. And so it'll be 8 to 11, and Charlie will be with me 8 to 8:30 answering questions that you bring us on Home Show at HomeShowRadio.com, as well as we have guests, some of our Home Show pros that we interview also. So it's a full-packed weekend, and let's not forget Danny Milliken with the Garden Pros and all the people he deals with. There you go, right there. The best gardening guy in town. He's on from 7 until 9 before I go on at 9 to noon on Saturday. And he can definitely help you with all your gardening questions. And just because it's winter doesn't mean it's not gardening time. It is.
Sure enough. Now, even though we're wrapping up now, you can still send us your questions, but now you're going to have to go here. You have to go to HomeShowRadio.com, click on that Ask Tom button right there, and it'll take you to this page, and that's where you can enter your questions, and we would love to get them from you and have them on the show. So that's it. So I guess we'll be back again next Thursday at 4 o'clock. Right, we're next Thursday because I think isn't the following Thursday Thanksgiving?
Yeah, are we going to do Thanksgiving?
No,
No. Okay. Well, in California we couldn't. We'd have to be separated and stuff. But anyway,
Well,
yeah, I
this
mean,
is
it's
actually-
Thanksgiving.
we're social distancing. You know, Tom and I decided.
Yeah,
to
we
practice
really are.
social
Yeah, like
distancing.
100
I'm in
million
Harris
miles.
County and he's in Brownsville.
Cameron County, I might add, the
Cameron County.
southmost county
There
in
it
the
is.
state.
Was that a
But
red
as far as
county?
that goes, yeah, huh?
Was that a
What?
red county, by the way? I saw a bunch of blue down there at the bottom.
Every county, for those in politics, I'm really not that much into it, but the whole border of Texas to Mexico right now is all purple in between. Every single county, it's a whole line that goes right down, that stretches down.
Go figure. Wonder how that happened. All right. Well, we'll be back again. We'll be
They didn't
back
come
up.
from California, I know that.
I'm not going there.
They're up in Dallas and Austin.
It's a home improvement show. It's not a United States improvement
Yeah,
show. So we're going to leave
whatever.
it there.
But yeah, they're nice people down here. That's all I can't say, but they're still Texans and they're nice people.
And we appreciate you being one of the people who's with us. By the way, I want to say hi to Glenn and David and Stephen and Mary and Frank. They're some of the people who are watching. Appreciate you being out there and watching the show today. And we'll be back again next Thursday with other Ask Tom Live on Facebook and YouTube.
Got a question? Ask Tom on HomeShow Radio. HomeShow Radio. Free advice from a pro who knows. HomeShow Radio. HomeShow